Hi, Bo here from High Tech Investment, and in today's video I want to introduce you to a new passive income robot that I've been dealing and working with for the past 6 months called GPS Forex Robot, and that has shown 100% profitability in the time that we have tested this one since December 2020. So very interesting, and basically it's a set and forget robot, which is why we also call it a passive income robot. So let's see what we have for you in this particular video. So we're going to show you the past results of this robot, both from the development side, so what they can show you, and also I'm going to show you a couple of the setups that we've been playing around with, both in the MT4 platform itself and also on the FX Blue site, which is also a site where you can certify the results to make sure that they are actually correct. We're going to show you how to buy the robot from the vendors there, or you can use our link in order to support the channel. And if you use the link to support us here, we will provide you with some bonus material, and that will be different settings for the robot apart from the standard one that it comes with, which is then reflected in what we're going to show you here today. So a low risk setting, medium risk setting, and a high risk setting that you can then have a look at and test out. So, but as with everything, investments, Forex, it's obviously always a risk, loss of money. So we're just going to go through our disclaimer with Billy here before we go on the site, and I'll show you all the exciting stuff we have for you today. So please, Billy, if you would.
The data on this website is for your information only. It does not constitute professional investment advice or advice on tax or legal matters. Please remember that all investment strategies and investments involve risk of loss. Nothing contained in this video should be construed as investment advice. Any reference to an investment's past or potential performance is not, and should not be construed as, a recommendation or as a guarantee of any specific outcome or profit in the future.
So now that we got the boring part out of the way, if you use the link below in the description, it will take you to this homepage of the GPS Forex Robot 3. And it starts off with a little welcome video that you can go and have a closer look at, but we're a bit more interested in just where you can buy it. And as you can see, you can add to the cart here. $149 US is extremely cheap for this type of robot, which normally goes for somewhere between 300 to 500. You got a 60-day money back guarantee also on top of this. And for this particular fee, you can put it on as many demo accounts as you want, but you can only use it for one live account, and then you got to buy another license for the next one. But let's just have a closer look as we go down here. So there is a bit of text and details that you can read through as you go along. Exactly what to avoid, how to stay profitable, everything else. So obviously there's a lot of background knowledge and everything else. The developers that started this off long time ago. So and the first $1 million investment, and yeah, you'll get to hear now the real money live accounts and everything else, and those are the ones that we're actually interested in. But before we go there, I just want to show you there's some verification emails from the brokers. Obviously we prefer to go to the FX sites instead, because we know that they cannot really be fortified, so we can also confirm that. I'm not saying the document is fortified, definitely not. So I know these guys now with a lot of communication, so they're very open. You can see there's multiple accounts that you can go in and you can check and verify them as you go along. But what we basically want to do here today is we just want to check that how this exactly works, and see the results that are come out of it. So there's also a little webinar recording, which I was hoping I could get a copy of this and share it also with you. But as time of we shot this video, It wasn't confirmed yet if this could happen or not, otherwise I will release it on a later date, but you can go in, you can have a look at it there with Mark Larsen and the developers. So answering a few questions on the robot and how they came to develop it, so interesting enough. But we want to go and have a closer look at exactly what are the results of this one. So let's go back up. So the section we're interested in is when they got started in May 2012. We want to see the results. So if you push the button here, it will now guide you over to my FX book. So for the ones that have seen these sites before, it's kind of a certification site. So my FX book and the FX Blue is normally the two sites that most people use to certify their accounts, to make sure that nobody has been tampering with them or providing wrong detail and information. You'll see that the account was set up back in May 2012, and up to this day it still continues to run. And the growth has been 559% since the beginning. So obviously a very good return. Daily, you can see over the average time 0.06%, monthly 1.72, which might be a bit low, and that's also why we're providing you some extra setup and details on how to improve this. Again, obviously it always comes with a risk, but you can judge for yourself later on. The drawdowns that has been maximum, and here you'll see the original deposit was $100,000 and has now grown into almost 660,000. So quite impressive, and with those big numbers, I mean 1 or 2% really moves. So if we go a bit further down here, we'll see the profit factors. So how many trades has been done over time, how many pips. And then you'll also see here the long ones that are won, because they normally on the US dollar and everything else, it only does buys. And then you can see 93%, and you said, oh, in the beginning you said 100. It says we have 100% profits so far on the 6 months we had. Obviously along the way there will be the initial hiccups. And that's where the hedging comes in, where you can see there's a couple of shorts, 22 in total. They've all been profitable at the end of the day. So so the details are here, and the important part, if you go down to the yearly ones, you can see every month the percentage that it has returned, and you can go back year by year to have a look and see that roughly we're talking about a percentage or so over the last many years. And I think we have one minus back in 2014 for some reason that came in at -7%, and then the next one was 12. So obviously they were playing around with a couple of settings back then, but obviously the robot has developed significantly since then. I mean, this is now the 3rd generation. So you have all the details in here, and you also have a summary of this. So that means that you can watch the overall here. We can see the percentage ones, 94. And we can have a look at the history. And if you look into this one here, you'll see each individual trade. So the last one here was done on the 17th of June this year. And then you go backwards. You can also, here there's a hedging part. So that means there's a reversal trade that the robot does. And I'll go into a bit more detail on that later. And you can see the profits that it has made along the way. So this is the safe and secure setup that they have used, and this is basically what you get when you have the robot. Also, there is a set and forget settings there, but obviously you can tweak it to your liking and to your risk and reward. So with that here, let's go and have a look at the results that I have managed to get since December, and afterwards we play with some high risk settings also. So let's go to the MT4 platform first. So this is one of the two accounts that we set up, and as you can see here it says 23rd of December 2020 at 15:04, and this was actually a balance. We first set it up at 100,000, but then decided we're gonna put it down to 10 in order to get a better feel for it. We normally use 10,000, and we ran the basic settings. In the beginning you can see the particular lot size is the similar one all the way through, and the simple means that the Euro USD is the one we're trading, so we're only trading one currency here, and you can also see that they are all buy. So in this particular case they are also green because they hit the take profit, and out here on the right hand side you can basically see the profit is fairly consistent in the beginning, so about 16, so each and every time. So this particular one is in US dollars, so but it doesn't really matter, euros, US dollars, it'll end up with the same at the end of the day. So at least for the percentage wise. You can also see that we made a switch here. So on the robot, so it went from just the 1%. We then changed a few things, played around with it, and increased also the risk part, and again basically doubling the profits along the way. And as we go along, you'll see that it's basically taking care of itself all the way through, up until recently here, where again we made some changes to the robot. So this would be here 15th of June, where we are now playing around with a couple of new settings, and the red ones is not because it ended in minus. It's basically just because there's a trailing stop being used and it hit the trailing stop. And at the end of the day you can see that that's the only thing we changed, but it actually meant that we pulled in a lot more profit. So and that we could do without increasing the risk even further. So that's how it looks on the MT4 platform. So let's go and have a look at the FX Blue and see how it presents itself there, and you will get the links for this also in the description below. You can go and click and verify that yourself. So when you click the link for the FX Blue that I'll leave in the description below, as I mentioned, you'll get to this particular page, and you can see as a starter the certain account that is there. So this is the account number for that one. So if you have multiple accounts, it's always easy to tell the difference. You can see in this case here, as I mentioned, it's a demo account, and you can see the balance in here also, the close profit that we have, and then you can see the development over time, so on the balance. If you go a bit further down here, you'll be able to see that we only trade one currency, so the Euro US dollars in this particular case. The returns so far has been 12.2%, a monthly return of 1.9, which is basically double of what you saw on their sites. We're also using a different risk factor, so that's the reason why. You can see the weekly returns, and then you'll go and say, hey Bo, you told me 100%. And for some reason I think that one of the swap fees has made an impact on this, because as you saw on the MT4 platform, all trades were positive. So it could be that it's registered this one a bit incorrectly, but yeah, 98 or 100%, who wouldn't like that at all times? The amount of pips that has also been taken, and how many trades per day. So obviously you can see that it's not many trades, and the history for it. And if we go to the stats, where we can see a bit more details on the account, again you'll see the presentation here. So the weekly returns, the monthly returns, profit factors and days, which is obviously quite nice. We have the chart and the development of the chart again, so in a bit more detail, and basically here is where we made some changes to the robot again from the very safe part to an improved profit part. So but let's have a look on how this one trades. And as you can see, it's similar to what you see on the MT4 part. You'll see that it doesn't trade every day, so 24th, 29th, and then 5th of January again, and with small little profits as they go along. Yeah. So, but that part is not really giving much of an info of a robot. It's a lot better to have a look on the weekly and the monthlies in order to see the developments of it. And as you can see here also as it starts, obviously this is holiday period, so there's not too many days to trade. And they are a bit difficult to trade around those times, but you can see the profit is coming in solid week by week. So, and you can see there's about 2 trades per week on that particular settings we had at the time. And as we have changed it here, you'll see that it's gone from the somewhere between the 20 and the 50. There you go. There you have a bit of the funny one that provides the minus here, I see. So, but this particular one is the last 2 weeks. You can see the improvement from the setup we made. So going from 25 to 50 is now past 100, and obviously last week was a good week. So let's have a look at it and see what it looks as per month. And again, you can see the percentage change in the different ones. So obviously this was a month that was only a week left of, so 0.2%, just under 1% for the first week in January here. 1.4 to 1.6, 1.2. And now with the latest changes we've done and increased of trades, we are now looking at 4%. So obviously again, this is only a couple of weeks old. So, but yeah, I believe some of these settings here is really good and can go live. So that's basically how you check and verify the documentation in there. You can go in and you can have a look around, see the individual trades. But let's go back to the MT4 and I will show you the so-called aggressive setup and how much you can actually get out of this robot compared to what you've seen until now. So for this particular one, again back in the MT4, now on a different account. This is also a demo account, so again 10,000 that we use. In this particular case, we have used locked lot size, so we are not using the money management, which will normally increase every single time we have more profits. But now, as you can see, we're no longer just trading the Euro USD, we're actually doing 4 pairs. So in this case here, you can see the first one, USD, US dollars, the Swiss franc, the British pounds, US dollars. So, and so it goes down here. The last one, let me just check. What did we say here? So we have US dollars, we have Euro, British pounds USD, and then Euro USD. So with these settings here, that now means that the robot is trading all the pairs, and it's also trading every day. So if you have a look, you can now see that on the 8th you have 2 trades here. On the 9th you have 1, 2, 3 trades there. So, and you can see on the 10th again you have quite a few trades. So obviously a lot more aggressive on the different currency pairs. So, and you can also see that now all of a sudden you have both buys and sells. So again, different settings, different risk factors, and obviously also different profits as you go along. So on this particular one, we actually do have, you will find that here. So this one here is actually a loss. So you can see loss of 914. But then again, the special part with this robot here is that it will basically hedge this. So that means it will do a reversal trade. And that actually came in on this particular one at 1,178. So despite the trade going the wrong way, the robot managed to come out with a positive small plus, which is obviously great news. But as you can see, it also comes as a certain risk, because the lot factor went all of a sudden from 1 up to 7.1. So and that obviously puts a bit of strain on your account. So you've got to be very careful to do this and time it right. But yeah, a lot of trades in a very short period of time. When did we say this started? Yeah, we started on the 7th of June and up until the 25th here. So we have, and you can see a lot of these ones are, the lowest ones are only a few. I think this is a Euro account. But then otherwise it's somewhere between the 20s and the 50s for each trade. So how exactly does that now look on the FX blue sites? So let's go back and let's have a look at that one. Back on the FX blue site again, so this time for the aggressive one. And as you can see, this is the account. Again, it's a demo account that we have. Close profit 1,834, and we can obviously see the balance from the initial 10 all the way up here. So and in between here we can see the reversal where we had the minus about 900, yeah, and then we got the reversal trade and made about 1,100 at the end of the day. So a small plus in the overall part. When we now go down, you'll see that we are now using all 4 currency pairs fairly equal. So the main part here that has been set is actually 28% for the US dollar Swiss francs. The total returns that we've received so far is 10.4%. Monthly returns is currently estimated at 28.7, so a huge difference. Weekly returns 6.2. Trade wins standing at 83. So again, something slightly seems to be off with the FX. So, but obviously, yes, we did lose the one trade. So profit factor is good. And if we now go to the stats over here, we'll see some of these items again presented in a similar fashion. So the weekly returns, monthly returns, profit factor. So, and the history, as you can see, it's a very short history for this particular one, 19 days only. So again, we'll have a look at the charts, and obviously a lot of people would like to see those charts. I must say also these reversal trades doesn't happen that often. Obviously they will happen a lot more often when you trade on aggressive strategies such as the one I've set up here. So, but normally if you look at the developer sites, you can see that normally the reversal trades happen about 2.2 times a year. So yeah, every 6 months roughly. If we now have a look on the daily site, so you'll now see that there's multiple daily trades happening. So obviously not on the weekends, and you can see the profits on the day-to-day part. So you can see 6 trades in one day and everything else. So very aggressive strategy. If we switch to the weeks, it gives a better overview. So with the net profits not being a full week here, 289, and then the next couple of weeks 650 and almost 900. So which is obviously very good returns. And for the month there's not much to show other than 18.6 5.4% up until now. So this is basically the span that the robot can work in, obviously with improved risk, and then it's up to you exactly how you want to set it. But there's not too many settings for this particular robot. So when we provide you with your bonus package, we will also give you a little information on how you can set it up, what's mostly recommended, and obviously you can also have a look at the development sites, how this goes. But this is a robot that basically once you're done, you set it up, you're happy with everything that's there, it'll run by itself. So once you bought your robot, you'll also get a user manual, and it's actually quite a comprehensive user manual for the GPS robot. Not that there's many changes, but it's well documented, and the contents of the guide here is basically introduction, how to get started, the different methods, setups, preparing the robot for trading, and also how to get it to stop trading again, which is obviously also quite important. The two different methods of installing the robots with the different files. So in this case here, you have the 4 files, as I mentioned before, for the 4 different currencies. And then it'll tell you to get started. There's an option to go with FX choice. So that depends on what broker you already have. But obviously, this works on different ones. We have tested this on different brokers, and the results are quite good on both. So, but obviously we always recommend that you have a good VPS, stable connection at all times. It'll just document exactly how you unpack the files you get, and where exactly you put them. So as I said, it's basically a step-by-step guide for second method, first method, second method, for the different folders where they go to, how you get them there, and also how you actually apply them to the MT4 platform. They go over the settings, and this is obviously important one. So use 0.01 lot for every $100, and that basically means that you can trade this robot with down to $100. I wouldn't recommend it. You always want to make sure that you give the robot enough space to do the reverse trades, things like that. So and that's why a lot of people actually burn the accounts, simply because they start off with amounts that are too small, and then they get a margin call on it, which is obviously not very nice. So yeah, there's plenty of items and explained exactly how the robot is set up and what some of the different sections mean. So, and also a bit of a troubleshooting guide to this if you have issues along the way. So very good support from them, and obviously they also have an email that you can email them if you have any further questions to this. So now let's go back again. Okay, so let's just quickly run over this again. We're showing you now the past results for the developers setup and robots. There's plenty of links that you can go in and have a look at. We have shown you the results from the robots from our side and our setups going all the way back to December 2020. And obviously we're also showing you now an aggressive setup that has been ongoing for about 19 days. So you can see the span is there for a couple of percent a month, up until 30%, I guess. Yeah. So we've shown you how to buy the robot, and as we said, if you like the video, give us a thumbs up, and obviously we appreciate if you click the link. That will help our channel also. If you buy it through us, then once you've done that, I suggest you just send me an email. So on the description below, you have our email there, and tell us you bought it. We'll go in and check with the developers that everything is okay, and then after that I will send you the bonus material. So hopefully that will just happen within a couple of days. So so I hope you enjoyed this one. This is definitely not one of the normal Forex robots. This is, as I said, a passive income robot. You don't have to do much. I suggest you go and have a look in the Forex folder of our YouTube, because that's exactly where you'll find how you can set up your trading platform if you want to trade manual or by signal, or in this case here by GPS. It's a very simple way of doing this. You have 4 small little files, and you basically just click and add them to the charts. So it's straightforward. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and see you soon again. Bye bye.